Good morning, natural gas. It's Monday, June the 1st. I'm Tim Beggans, president of Elk Trading Company, and this is the top news for natural gas. Number one, the Strait of Hormuz is still closed. Yeah, any day now. Number two, the U.S. below normal temperatures are expected in Texas weeks 3 through 4. Number three, in Canada, Ksi Lisims LNG has secured a contract for 1 MTPA, that's million tons per annum. And number four, a Russian LNG tanker is attempting the Northern Sea route to China. Let's turn to the spot July natural gas contract. We're currently trading at $3.19, down 10 cents or just over 3%. And as you can see, we just have bounced once again off the 50% retracement. This is from March the 9th all the way back to April the 30th. And as you can see right now, we're heading back down toward the 0.236%. So that's at 312.60. We're going to take a look at why it's happening, but also to understand, take a look at the hourly chart. And this is pushing well below the daily pivot. Today came in at 330.170. We went right through first support here at 324.5, and now are pushing below second support here, which comes in at 320 and 1 tick. So our next support level, 312.90. As you can see, the RSI is down. It is in an oversold condition at the moment. So we expect it here to stabilize above 312.90 because we've got some short-term weather and pigging on LNG pipelines that are causing some pressure on the board. Let's take a look at ERCOT. And as you can see, right now, the renewables are going to be about 36,000 today. But look at the forecast, almost 80,000 megawatts in the grid today for ERCOT. That's pretty strong for this time of year. And take a look, natural gas is pulling about 34% of the fuel mix. That's good news. But overall, take a look. Prices are really weak. Even in ERCOT right now, it is down to $15. The spike here, PJM, just pushing over here over 112, just about $112 per megawatt hour. That's good news for PJM. Why? Because there's some heat coming up there. But for ERCOT, we've got cooler temperatures coming for weeks 3 through 4. That's June 13th through the 26th. It carries us almost through the entire month. And as you can see, the above normal temperatures are in the West Coast or on the East Coast, but not in the South for Texas in particular. How about the heat risk? Well, right now, as you can see, it is pretty strong here for parts of eastern Texas here. That includes Dallas and Houston, all the way back over to Oklahoma, Arkansas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, and Florida. And as we get through the forecast, though, it starts to moderate for Texas all the way through Florida. But by Friday, we start seeing some moderate heat risk here along the East Coast and parts of the interior, as well as showing back up around Houston. That's around here. So as you can see, it is scattered as we get through June the 7th. How about the front to back spreads? This is Jan versus October, and it's bouncing right now up 6 cents here to 125.10 right now. RSI is turning to the upside from an oversold condition. So this may continue to widen back out. We're right at, as you can see here, just 3 ticks above that 125. That was support, was now resistance. And let's take a look at the Novi through March strip, and that is down 4.5 cents here to 385.20. The RSI is about to turn to the downside again. And let's take a look at the LNG markets. And in particular, we've got one tanker up here in the Eastern Siberian Sea. Now, there was some news over the weekend that Russia was trying to pull a cargo right here from Arctic 2, and that's in the Yamal Peninsula, and move it across the northern passage here because the ice was pretty thin. We'll see whether or not this tanker makes a run here all the way back to China. And let's take a look at that ice. As you can see, this is Yamal here, and this is fairly thin along the ice, along the coast. Absolutely nothing right here, and that's where the tanker is. It's sitting just on this side of the east side of this island here, and it is going to try and make its way through the Bering Straits. We'll keep a careful eye on that. And here is the LNG in the United States. This is Cameron, and it's currently just 1.267 BCF out of 1.56. That's basically where it's been for a week now. And here is Creole Trail. And there is plenty of capacity open right now because there's pigging on this pipeline for 13 hours today, 3 hours tomorrow. So this is going to affect just about half a BCF over 2 days. And let's take a look at Corpus Christi, doing fairly well here, 2.47 BCF out of 2.75. And here is Trans-Cameron Pipeline. This feeds Calcasieu Pass Venture Global's facility. And there is still some open capacity here, running about 1.7 out of 2.125. And taking a look at Plaquemines, this has been running over nameplate capacity recently, but now is pulled down to 3.9. As you can see, out of 3.94. So there is a little open capacity there. That's interesting news. And here's Golden Pass. Yes, it's just under 200,000 MMBTUs. We had ramped up over 400,000, now back down again. So it is kicking and starting as it tries to bring up Train 1 to full commissioning. And let's take a look at Europe. Europe is warm right now, but again, it moderates here, and this is good news. The heat stays to the south into Spain and Portugal, parts of Turkey, maybe Greece, but as you can see through the forecast period, we do get some brief temperature warm-ups here around June the 10th and 11th, but then it starts to just get a little bit warmer to the east side of the system, and that's good news because they're finally over 40% full here across the EU. The injections are back to where they're supposed to be for the 5-year average. That's good news. But as you can see, if we push down to, say, the Netherlands, and where are we? We're 15.5% full. We're well below the 5-year average here, well below this is a new min now. And of course, the injections are still not doing well, not even close to the average. So let's take a look at Asia, and this is where it's going to get warm. And as you can see here, these temperatures are staying fairly warm through the forecast period here, especially down toward Hong Kong. That's in Guangdong province. That's the really economic heart of China. That's the equivalent of Texas in the United States. And as you can see, it has the same latitude as Mexico City. So it is warm and staying warm as we go through the forecast period here. That means that warmer temperatures are also forecast for the Koreas and Japan. And here's the United States drought. Yep, it's continuing still. We've got very extreme drought, exceptional drought in parts of Florida all the way through upwards into the Virginia at this point. Again, the interior here, Arkansas, Louisiana, parts of Oklahoma, the Panhandle in Texas, and now, of course, Nebraska, Colorado, and Idaho. So we desperately need rain. And here's the the global tropic hazards. And as you can see, again, the Pacific side is more potential here, over 40% in parts of it off of the west coast of Mexico and Guatemala. And then that moderates into about 20%. What about the mid-Atlantic? Well, as you can see right here, nothing's going on. No tropical development is expected. There are some storm systems that came off the Yucatan and then dissipated. So what else is going on mid-Atlantic? Yeah, look at this. This is a beast. Saharan air layer, and this dust extends basically the width of the United States and now the length of the United States. It's incredible. So this is pushing back into the Gulf of America, back into Gulf of Mexico, also South America, and parts of, looks like it's going to end up hitting parts of Canada. This is crazy. And here's the U.S. nuclear outages. We've only got basically 4 nuclear reactors that are down for maintenance and refueling. 1 Palisades nuclear power plant. We're waiting for renewal here to bring that back online. Currently, right now, we are only down to 3.2 gigawatts that are offline. This is below the 5-year average. This is pushing pressure on natural gas as well. Why? Because we typically bottom out in that almost 0% to 0.5% gigawatts, 0.5 gigawatts. And that is for basically July, August, and September. And we're really quite low right now. And here's the sea of green almost here. This is CRK is the only one that is not green yet today. That's down 0.9% behind me. CNX up 0.92%. These are stocks in the oil and gas E&P sector, stocks between $2 and $10 billion and have a high short float over 10%. So if there's good news for crude and natural gas, these stocks will do well. And let's recap again. For the spot July natural gas contract, we're currently down 11.2 cents here to 317.80, or a little bit over 3.3%. Why? Because we've got cooler weather forecasts for Texas weeks 3 and 4. We've also got some pigging at Creole Trail, which feeds Sabine Pass LNG today and a few hours tomorrow. Let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. Please hit that like and subscribe button. Thanks for listening. We'll see you tomorrow.